Welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah.
This time, we're going back in time
Yeah.
to ancient Egypt.
Okay.
But we're not here for the pyramids this time. We're going deeper
Okay.
into their beliefs about the afterlife,
Right.
as detailed in the Egyptian Book of the Dead.
Oh, interesting.
So it's this collection of spells, hymns, and instructions, really.
I see.
And it gives us a fascinating glimpse into how
That's
they
true.
envisioned the soul's journey after death, the challenges, and of course, what rewards awaited those found worthy.
Oh, worthy. Yeah.
And what's really fascinating to me
Okay.
is that it wasn't a bound book like we might think of today.
Oh, interesting.
It was really more of a collection of texts.
Okay.
So these texts are found on papyrus scrolls and even on tomb walls.
I see.
So it wasn't really a book in the way we think of it,
Interesting. So it's more like a guidebook then.
a guidebook.
Yeah.
Not for
But-
traveling the world, but for
Navigating the afterlife.
navigating the afterlife.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
And like any good guidebook, it needs a map.
Right.
What can you tell us about the structure
Yeah.
of the Book of the Dead?
Yeah.
I mean, were these texts just randomly thrown together?
Mm-hmm.
Or was there some sort of order to them?
Yeah, that's a good question. The Book of the Dead wasn't like fixed.
Okay.
You know, different versions existed with different spells and their order
Right.
varied. But there are some recurring elements like hymns of praise, for example.
Okay, hymns of praise.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of prominent ones in our excerpts.
Yeah.
One dedicated to Ra, the sun god,
Mm-hmm.
and another to Osiris, the
Right.
king of the underworld.
Right. And these hymns are like introductions
Okay.
to these major deities.
Okay.
Highlighting, you know, their powers,
Sure.
their roles in the cosmic order.
Okay.
For example, the hymn to Ra emphasizes the sun's journey across the sky, right? Symbolizing life, death, and rebirth.
So the Egyptians saw these natural occurrences as reflections of divine power.
Exactly.
I mean, it reminds me of how other cultures
Yeah.
have sun gods, associated with
Well,
creation, with
right.
life.
Yeah, exactly. And this connection to nature, it's really crucial in Egyptian belief.
Okay.
For them, the afterlife wasn't some separate realm.
Right.
It was very much a part of,
Right.
it was intertwined with the natural world, its cycles.
Okay. And what about Osiris?
Oh,
What does his hymn
Yeah.
tell us about him?
So Osiris is a much more, I would say, complex figure than Ra.
Okay.
He's not just the god of the underworld. He's also associated with resurrection, judgment. His hymn really emphasizes truth, justice, balanced concepts embodied by Mot.
Mot.
Yes,
That's a word we hear a lot about when we're studying ancient Egypt.
it comes up a lot. Yeah.
What exactly does that mean?
So Mot is more than just a word, right?
Okay.
It's this fundamental concept
Okay.
that encompasses truth, justice, order, cosmic harmony.
Right.
It's really the foundation upon which the universe stands,
Wow.
and it plays a really, really crucial role in the afterlife.
So it's not just about being a good person.
Right.
It's about
It's bigger than that.
living in harmony with this universal.
The universe, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, I see. And your heart, which the Egyptians believed held the essence of your being,
Right.
was judged against the feather of Mot.
Right.
This weighing of the heart ceremony was
Yeah.
a very pivotal moment
Yeah.
in the afterlife journey.
Right. The weighing of the heart. It does sound kind of intense.
It was a big deal.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
But before we dive into that,
Okay.
I am curious about these chapters of Coming Forth by Day.
Okay.
What are they all about? And how do they fit into this bigger picture
Sure.
of the Book of the Dead?
Imagine the chapters of Coming Forth by Day as like spells and instructions. Almost like, a roadmap to navigate the underworld.
Right.
Each chapter offering specific knowledge or power
Okay.
to overcome the challenges that await the deceased.
So these chapters are like individual quests
That's a great.
that the soul has to complete
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
on its journey through the afterlife.
Exactly.
Okay.
And within these chapters, you find spells for everything.
Okay.
From ensuring the deceased has a mouth to speak with
Right.
to get this transforming into different creatures.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Transform into different creatures.
Yes.
Now this sounds interesting.
It is pretty wild.
Like what kind of creatures are we talking about?
Well, the text specifically mentions the hawk,
Okay.
the serpent, the crocodile, and even the Bennu bird. Each creature, of course, held a very specific symbolic meaning in
Right.
Egyptian belief.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Let's unpack those transformations.
Let's do it.
What they might tell us. about the ancient Egyptians' view of the soul and this whole journey after death.
Okay.
But first, let's take a quick break.
Of course.
All right, so we're back. We were just about to get into this fascinating concept of the soul transforming into different creatures
it's wild.
in the afterlife. Like it's like something straight out of a myth.
It does have this, this kind of mythical quality to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But, for the ancient Egyptians, these transformations were very symbolic. They reflected their beliefs about the soul's capabilities and the nature of the afterlife.
So let's start with the hawk.
Okay.
What did that transformation symbolize for them?
Well, the hawk, with its ability to soar high above the earth, and its keen eyesight, was often associated with, the sun god Ra, right? And it represented spiritual vision, divinity and freedom.
Okay.
Transforming into a hawk, I guess you could say it suggests this elevated perspective, right?
Okay.
A way for the soul to navigate the afterlife with clarity and purpose.
Like gaining a bird's eye view.
Exactly.
Literally of the afterlife journey. And what about the serpent?
Okay.
That always seems like such a
the serpent
complex symbol.
Is very interesting. Serpents were connected to both life and death, right? They shed their skin, symbolizing this kind of rebirth, renewal.
Okay.
So in the context of the afterlife, the serpent transformation could represent, this connection to the earth's primal energies. Right. A way for the soul to kind of navigate these hidden pathways of the underworld,
So the serpent represents a more, I guess...
Right, more grounded.
Instinctual aspect of the soul's journey.
Exactly.
And the crocodile.
Okay.
That one always seems a bit more intimidating to me.
Well, the crocodile was a creature of, immense power.
Right.
It was equally at home in the water and on land.
Right.
And it was associated with the Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt.
Right.
But also with these dangers lurking beneath the surface.
Okay.
So transforming into a crocodile could symbolize, harnessing that raw power.
Okay.
Maybe as a way to protect oneself from the threats of the underworld.
So each transformation offered a different kind of advantage?
Yeah.
Almost like equipping different skills.
Right. Like
or powers in a video game.
Yes, exactly.
To overcome specific challenges. And you mentioned the Bennu bird.
Yes, the Bennu bird.
What was its significance?
The Bennu bird is so fascinating. It's often depicted as, like a heron or a hawk with a long, straight beak and this, very colorful plumage.
Okay.
And the Egyptians associated it with creation, rebirth, and the rising sun.
Okay.
So in the context of the afterlife, becoming the Bennu bird could symbolize a return to a state of purity, like a renewal of the soul.
So the Bennu bird represents a kind of spiritual...
a spiritual rebirth.
Rebirth, like a chance to start anew in the afterlife.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And you know what's interesting about all of this?
What?
I think these transformations, they really offer us a glimpse into how the ancient Egyptians viewed the soul as this fluid, dynamic entity, capable of adapting, that it could take on different forms to navigate the, the challenges and the triumphs of this afterlife.
It's a far cry from how many cultures view the soul, right? Like as this...
just very static.
Yeah, static, unchanging entity.
Right.
Yeah. But let's shift gears a little bit here and talk about this weighing of the heart ceremony.
Okay.
That seems like a pretty crucial moment in the afterlife journey.
Absolutely. The weighing of the heart was essentially a trial, a judgment of the deceased's life, their character, their deeds, all of it.
And if I remember correctly,
it
took place in this Hall of Two Truths.
That's right. The Hall of Two Truths.
With Osiris presiding.
I don't know Osiris.
Over the judgment. So, walk me through this.
Okay. So, the deceased's heart was placed on one side of a scale, and the feather of Mot, representing truth and justice, was placed on the other.
Talk about pressure.
Oh, I know.
Your entire life.
I can't imagine.
Weighed against a feather.
Yeah.
What happened if your heart was heavier?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah.
That's where things took a turn. For the worse, unfortunately. A monster called Ammit. Ammit, yeah. Which was this terrifying creature with the head of a crocodile, the body of a lion
Oh, wow.
and the hindquarters of a hippopotamus
Oh, my gosh.
was said to devour the hearts
Oh, no.
of those who failed the test.
Devoured by a mitt. That's certainly one way to motivate people to live
Keeps you on the straight and narrow.
a morally upright life. Right.
That's right.
But what about those who passed the test?
Okay, so
What happened to them?
those who passed the weighing of the heart, they were deemed worthy
Okay.
of entering Aru.
Aru.
Aru, yeah.
Okay.
It's also known as the Field of Reeds. And this was a paradise where they could enjoy this afterlife of peace and abundance.
So it wasn't all doom and gloom.
No.
There was a light at the end of the tunnel.
There was hope.
A reward for a life well lived.
Well, live it up.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But the journey wasn't over yet, though.
No.
Even after the weighing of the heart,
Right.
there were still challenges to overcome.
Right.
Obstacles to navigate within the afterlife.
Of course, yeah.
Like those perilous landscapes and those fearsome creatures guarding the underworld gates.
Exactly all of that, yep.
And the Book of the Dead mentions
It does.
spells and pronouncements
Yeah.
to help the deceased navigate all of those challenges.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us more about those?
Of course. The Book of the Dead
Yeah.
is chock full of spells and instructions
Okay.
to protect the deceased from harm,
Mm.
to guide them through these treacherous landscapes,
Mm-hmm.
and to appease the gods of the underworld,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And these spells, they ranged from the practical to the symbolic, covering everything from providing light in the darkness to ensuring that the deceased had food and water for the journey.
So it's like having a survival guide
Yes.
for the afterlife.
Yes. A survival guide for the afterlife.
A way to ensure a safe
Mhm.
and successful passage
Right.
to the afterlife paradise.
Yeah, it's very practical in a way.
Yeah. Wow. It makes you wonder about their mindset,
Yeah, it's fascinating.
like how they reconciled
Yeah.
this very real possibility of death
Mhm.
with their desire for
Right.
a blissful afterlife.
It speaks to their deep-seated belief
Okay.
in the continuity of life.
Okay.
That death wasn't the end.
Right.
It was just a transition to another realm, right?
Right.
And this was a realm they could prepare for. They
Right.
could navigate it with the right knowledge,
Okay.
the right rituals.
And the Book of the Dead provide that knowledge, right?
Exactly, exactly. It acted as this guidebook, a source of comfort,
Yeah.
and this testament to their enduring belief
Wow.
in the afterlife.
It's a window into a worldview that, while different from our own, still resonates
Yeah.
with this very human desire, I think,
Of course.
to make sense of life and death, right?
Of course.
To find meaning
Yes,
in
absolutely.
the face of mortality.
Yes, exactly.
It's a reminder that these questions that the ancient Egyptians grappled with, questions about the soul, about morality, about what awaits us after death,
a big one.
right?
Yeah.
These are questions that continue to fascinate us
They do.
and challenge us today.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're still relevant.
And maybe by exploring their beliefs,
Yeah.
their rituals, their
Yes.
hopes, their fears, right?
Yes.
We can gain
Yeah.
a new perspective on those timeless questions and maybe even find our own answers.
Right. I love that.
This has been an incredible journey so far.
It has. Would you agree?
Absolutely fascinating. Just incredible.
That we've just scratched the surface
We've just begun.
of the Book of the Dead.
There's so much more.
After a short break,
Okay.
we'll delve into some specific spells
Oh, good.
and explore what they reveal about
Yeah.
the ancient Egyptians' beliefs about
Yeah.
the soul, magic,
Mhm.
and the afterlife.
Oh, I'm excited.
Stay with us. Welcome back to our deep dive into the Egyptian Book of the Dead.
Yeah, I'm excited to get back into it.
Before the break, we're talking about all the challenges
Right.
that
Yeah.
awaited the deceased in the afterlife,
Of course, yeah.
even after that weighing of the heart.
Right, even after being deemed worthy
It really makes you wonder, what kind of spells did
Yeah.
the ancient Egyptians rely on?
to navigate all of those challenges.
Well, I mean, the book, it's like full of spells, and
Yeah.
each one
Right.
was designed to address specific concerns, I guess you could say, or provide certain benefits right in the afterlife.
So it's like a
it's like
spiritual toolkit
yes.
with each spell
Yes.
being a different tool for a different situation.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great way to think about it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, for example, some spells were very practical.
Okay.
Like the chapter of giving a mouth to the deceased.
Right, we touched on that earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
So it wasn't enough to just have a physical mouth. You needed that power of speech.
We need to be able to use it.
In the afterlife.
For sure.
But why was eloquence so important?
Well, because, I mean, words held immense power.
Okay.
For the ancient Egyptians. They really believed that by speaking the right words, you could influence the world around you, even in the afterlife. So this spell, it wasn't just about restoring speech. It was about giving the deceased ability to recite spells, to declare their innocence before Osiris, right? And ultimately, to shape their own destiny in the afterlife.
So silence in the afterlife.
Yeah, silence
could be a real disadvantage.
Not a good look.
Not a good look at all.
No, no.
Yeah, it's fascinating how much importance
it's
placed on language.
Language is power.
Yeah.
Exactly. And speaking of the power of words,
okay.
Some spells acted as passwords.
Okay.
So, like, they would grant the deceased access to certain areas or allow them to pass by guardians.
Like those mythical creatures guarding the underworld gates.
Exactly. Exactly.
It makes those stories about knowing the right names, the right pronouncements.
It's all about what,
all the more intriguing.
Right, yeah. Knowing the right words.
Yeah.
It could mean the difference between safe passage and eternal damnation.
Oh, wow.
The Egyptians believed that names held a special kind of power.
Okay.
It was a connection to the essence of a being or a concept, even.
So it's like this cosmic game of riddles.
I like that, yeah.
Where the answers determine your fate.
Right.
Okay, but let's shift gears again.
Okay.
We've talked about the practical spells.
Right, the practical stuff.
But what about the more, transformative ones?
Okay, yeah.
Like those spells that allowed the deceased to become hawk or a serpent or even a lotus flower.
Yes. Those are amazing.
What can those tell us about?
They're so cool.
Their beliefs about the soul.
The transformation spells, those are some of the most fascinating and I think revealing aspects of the whole Book of the Dead.
Okay.
They offer this really interesting glimpse into how the Egyptians viewed the soul. Okay. It wasn't this fixed thing, Yes. It was this dynamic entity.
Right.
Capable of metamorphosis, transcendence.
So these transformations weren't just about
it's bigger.
Gaining this cool new form.
It's not just a costume change. No.
They represented different aspects of the soul.
Yes, exactly.
And its potential in the afterlife.
Yeah. For example, becoming a hawk wasn't simply about gaining the ability to fly, right?
Okay.
It was about ascending to a higher state of being, embodying the sun god Ra's attributes of vision, power, spiritual elevation.
So the transformations were almost like...
spiritual aspirations.
Aspirations, exactly. And remember, the serpent.
Right.
A creature that sheds its skin.
Right, yeah.
Symbolizing that rebirth, renewal.
It's a very powerful one.
Becoming a serpent in the afterlife.
Might have represented this connection to the Earth's regenerative powers.
Okay.
That ability to navigate the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth.
It's fascinating how these transformations reflect their broad
it's amazing.
understanding of the cosmos, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, and then we have the crocodile.
The crocodile, yes.
This creature of immense power.
Powerful, intimidating.
Dwelling in the life-giving waters of the Nile.
Right.
Yet also a symbol of the dangers lurking beneath the surface.
Yes. Two sides of the same coin.
Right.
Yeah.
So transforming into a crocodile seems less about...
Yeah, it's less about...
spiritual aspiration, I guess.
It's more about...
And more about survival.
Yes.
Survival. Harnessing that primal power.
Yes, exactly.
To overcome obstacles.
That's it.
Okay. And what about the lotus flower?
Oh, the lotus flower.
That one has always struck me as particularly poignant.
It's beautiful. The lotus is just this beautiful symbol, right?
It is.
It emerges from the mud, yet it blooms into something so beautiful and pure.
Very symbolic.
Right.
Yeah.
And in the context of the afterlife, becoming a lotus flower might have represented this return to a state of pristine innocence.
Okay.
The shedding of earthly burdens.
Okay.
Yeah.
A
blossoming into this new form of existence.
It's such a powerful image of, transformation.
It really is.
And transcendence.
It is.
It speaks to this, I don't know, enduring human desire for renewal.
Yeah.
For a chance to begin anew, even in the face of death.
Yes, exactly.
These spells.
I know.
These transformations, these glimpses into the Egyptian afterlife.
Yeah.
They offer such a unique perspective.
They do?
On the human experience.
I think so.
They remind us that throughout history, across cultures, we've grappled.
Of course, that's the human condition, right?
With these mysteries of life and death.
Yeah.
We search for meaning, for comfort.
We're always searching. That's
for a sense of continuity, I guess, beyond the confines of our earthly existence.
Yes. And, you know, the answers they found, the ancient Egyptians, the rituals they practiced, the beliefs they held dear, they offer valuable insights, I think.
They do. They really do.
Into the human condition.
The Egyptian Book of the Dead, despite its kind of morbid title.
I know, right.
It's ultimately a testament to, I don't know.
Yeah.
The human spirit's enduring hope, I guess.
Yes, our hope.
For a meaningful afterlife.
Yes.
A realm where the soul can continue its journey, where challenges can be overcome, and where even death itself can be transformed into a new beginning.
It's a powerful message.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
Into the Egyptian Book of the Dead.
The ancient Egyptians had a lot figured out, I think.
They really did. They really did.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us.
This was great.
On this journey.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And until next time, keep asking questions.
Always keep learning.
And keep seeking knowledge.
Absolutely.